my name is ColdBeer, and let's start with The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings.
Everyone knows, and most of us have played the third Witcher, but just a few of us have tried previous parts. Well, I played all of them and I can share my quick insights about part 2. So if you are wondering should you play Assassin of Kings, there is some major guidance for you. If you like the third Witcher because of the open world and fluid combat, you won't find anything similar here. The world is segmented, some areas are more open, some are straight linear, and combat is way less satisfying, although it is decent enough to not make you rage all the time. It is an older game released at the same time as Skyrim, but just with a fraction of that budget. But if you like third Witcher because of the story, writing, humor and deeply developed characters, then yes, the second part can offer a similar experience. I would give the overall scenario 10 ColdBeers out of 10. I can absolutely recommend it. Also, the game has boobs in it. On Steam, Assassin of Kings has 90% of positive reviews, left by tens of thousands of people. Basically, this game was the moneymaker that helped CD Projekt create a much bigger third part, which is also heavily discounted, although I featured it twice already on this sale, so you won't find it on this video. Scars Above. This is a challenging sci-fi third-person action-adventure shooter. It combines the rewarding feeling of overcoming difficulty with a compelling and intricate story set in a mysterious alien world. A colossal and enigmatic alien structure appears in orbit and stuns the entire world. Your team, consisting of scientists and engineers, is set to investigate. And should I say that things didn't go as planned? Aliens haul the team across space onto a mysterious extrasolar planet, so you wake up dazed, alone in a strange hostile environment. But determined to survive, you set out to find your crew and unravel the mystery behind what's happened. People on Steam are saying that the game is really fun and has a great story. The downside is the linear plot and Souls-like mechanics. Well, there is nothing bad in mechanics as such, but the game doesn't communicate this to players clearly, so a lot of casual gamers who buy the game fail to kill the first boss. Fell Seal, Arbiter's Mark. This is a beautifully hand-drawn, story-driven, turn-based tactical RPG set in a fantasy world with a touch of steampunk. You'll experience an epic and mature story unfolding through over 40 encounters and topped with challenging endgame content. To progress, you will have to master classic tactical combat battles with rugged terrain and elevation. Class system contains over 30 classes and 300 abilities. It lets you customize every one of your characters through the selection of their class, subclass and passives. People on Steam are saying that this game is simply awesome. And tactics-wise, if you want a real challenge, play on very hard mode and prove that you have the biggest, hardest and hairiest mental balls a person could have. Stellaris. Here, every game begins with a civilization who just discovered the means to travel between stars and is ready to explore the galaxy. You will have your science ships survey and explore anomalies, leading you into a myriad of missions, introducing strange worlds with even stranger stories and discoveries that may completely change your outcome. And as always, you are not alone in the universe, and you don't know what you will encounter. Maybe a friendly trade federation, maybe a trade federation we saw in Star Wars, and maybe just plain space cannibals. And you will have to deal with all this galactic nonsense all alone, or in multiplayer mode with your friends. Returnal. This is an incredibly beautiful action roguelite bullet hell. Here, after crash landing on a weird shape-shifting world, you must search through the barren landscape of an ancient civilization for your escape. All alone, you find yourself fighting for survival until death. Yours, of course, again and again. When you are defeated, you are forced to restart this journey every time you die. The fun thing is that you'll discover that just as the planet changes with every cycle, so do the items at your disposal. Every loop offers new combinations, empowering you to push your boundaries and approach combat with a different strategy each time. In other words, this is roguelike, but it's not boring at all. Game is still very expensive, but if you want something brainless and beautiful, you know, look at the mirror. Anyway, jokes aside, this is truly beautiful brainless bullet hell, although system requirements are quite high, so be sure you have them above minimum. Palworld. The game has hundreds of thousands of reviews on Steam and the score is above 90%, which makes this game a true masterpiece. Yeah, we all know that this is a Pokemon game without Pokemons, but that changes nothing. Palworld will enchant you with a massive open world where you can peacefully live alongside mysterious creatures known as pals, or risk your life to drive off a ruthless poaching syndicate. Pals can be used to fight, or they can be made to work on farms or factories. So you're tiny slaves. What a nice concept, but wait. It gets worse. You can obviously sell them or even eat them, and the game calls this peaceful co-living. Well, who am I to judge? Anyway, Palworld is not just an easy walk in the park, it's a survival game as well. So in a harsh environment where food is scarce and vicious poachers roam, danger awaits you around every corner. To survive you have to be careful and make difficult choices. You know, you have to eat your pals if things go south a bit too far. So use your pals as you want. Farm, build factories, or commit crimes and become a mighty slaver. In online co-op mode, up to 4 players can play together. And additionally, a dedicated server can allow up to 32 players in one game. That's how you make friends, if you don't have any. No rest for the wicked. The game is still in early access, so it is kinda rough on the edges, but it is made by developers of Ori and the Blind Forest, so not by some rookies. So here the year is 841, and as word of the king's death echoes throughout the kingdom, the crown passes to his arrogant yet untested son. So there are some rebels wanting to cut his head off. The land is on the brink of civil war. That sucks, but it can always suck even more. So an unholy plague not seen for 1,000 years has returned as well. What a coincidence, right? So the plague sweeps across the land, corrupting everything and everyone it touches. In all this turmoil, you embark on an adventure. Well, on a task to be fair, because you are sworn to defeat the plague at any cost. Well, it's always better to be a warrior than a civilian in a war, so kudos for you. You got this. Or not. Knowing you, probably not. No offense. Manor Lords. I remember when I saw the Manor Lords gameplay trailer for the first time and I learned the fact that it was developed by one man, I was really skeptical. You know, how can an indie game created by one dude look better than Age of Empires 4? It seemed absolutely impossible and reeked of scam. But I was obviously wrong. Also, I'm sure that he got some help after he coined a publisher, which is Hooded Horse, one of the coolest publishers around. So Manor Lords is a wonderful city builder with elements of war. The visuals of the game are great, especially when you zoom in and see all that beautiful grass, all that beautiful graphic cards melting grass. Yeah, my PC froze a few times while I was playing a demo on ultra graphics. Also, I was recording a video in 4K at the same time, so it may have something to do with that as well. The goal of the game is to build a fully functioning medieval city. You start by building a hunting lodge, wood-cutting structures, peasant huts, all that necessary trifle, and you end up with a huge prosperous city of ColdBeer. I especially like that you can build lots and fields in almost any shape you want, and then your builders and algorithm will do the rest. Also, a cool feature is that you can regrow your forest. You have a special forester building where you can assign your workers and they start reforestation. Anyway, this is a wonderful RTS game. I can recommend it without a doubt. Thymesia. This is a dark fantasy action RPG with fast-paced combat and an interesting plague weapon system. In a kingdom where death rules, you will play as a mysterious character known by the codename Corvus. And as always, you are the kingdom's final hope, blah blah, the fate of the land is resting in your hands, and so on. You know, also it's a short game. It is possible to beat it in 6 hours, but hey, let's be fair and square and triangle. It ain't gonna happen unless you are a god of gamepad. Also, if you like tea with thymes, then you are strong and this game needs you. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. A broken Celtic warrior embarks on a haunting vision quest into the Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Well, at least she thinks it is happening that way. The game is created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis. Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice will pull you deep into a Senua's mind, and that mind is a crazy one, so the game is a pure mindfuck. You will never know what is real and what is not. The one fact you will know for sure is that this is a beautiful game. Graphics are almost photorealistic, so if you are a sucker for an eye candy, this game definitely delivers that. Northgard. This is an RTS game based on Norse mythology in which you play as a clan of Vikings vying for the control of mysterious, newfound continent. In this simple strategy game you will find lots of victory conditions, atmospheric music, changing seasons, and as you can see, pretty nice art design. Also, the game has a decent campaign with a pretty good story. Sadly, as I've mentioned many times before, Northgard's AI is cheating with infinite resources and manpower, meaning that developers couldn't create really good intelligence that could win against humans on its own. Well, I know that many strategy games do not have strong AIs, but they at least try. But you never know, maybe developers were AI geniuses, but they were afraid of accidentally making Skynet. You know, being accused of making a bad AI is one thing, but being responsible for a robot uprising that destroyed human civilization? Yeah, you know, better safe than sorry. Nevertheless, Northgard is a good RTS game for a few days, or maybe more. Maybe you will fall in love with it, you know, like tapeworm falls in love with your guts. 8-bit Invaders. Remember all the Lovecraftian movies where bodies are merging with each other? You know, like The Thing, The Fly, or Annihilation with Natalie Portman. So if StarCraft and Minecraft were protagonists in such a Lovecraftian movie, 8-bit Invaders would be their merging result. See, you can always think of something better than just a cliché about
if StarCraft and Minecraft had a baby.
So this is a fast-paced RTS, a very colorful strategy arcade game that it's easy to learn for players of all skill levels. Collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of tanks and starships, and ultimately crush humans with your metal tentacles, or show aliens who's the boss here. You will find 24 campaign missions, 10 co-op missions to play with your mother-in-law, destructible environments, and you know who the composer is? Frank Klepacki, the same dude who created music for Command & Conquer 27 years ago, when he was 17. Yeah, I will keep repeating this fact. And if you feel that this 8-bit setting is appealing to you, keep in mind that you can also find 2 more games, 8-bit armies that are made with the fans of Command & Conquer in mind, and 8-bit hordes that can be appealing to Warcraft fans. Hand of Fate 2. This is a dungeon crawler set in a dark fantasy world. Here you'll try to master a living board game, where every stage of the adventure is drawn from a deck of legendary encounters chosen by you. So choose wisely. Your opponent, the enigmatic dealer, will try to make you feel helpless and pathetic. People on Steam are saying that the combat is a bit clunky, but the atmosphere, art style, and the narration of the game makes Hand of Fate really enjoyable and fun. Although keep in mind that the game is kinda difficult, also heavily based on luck. You know, it's a card game after all. And that may be frustrating if you have an unlucky day when everything falls apart. So before playing, throw a coin into the air 3 times and try to guess heads or tails. If you'll be correct at least 2 times, play the game. Luck is with you today.
And what if this was the last drop of luck? What if guessing heads or tails right was the luckiest thing that happened today?
Well, in this instance, I'll think you'll know that you are screwed right away. Game is not forgiving. Pentiment. This game looks kinda dumb, but it's made by Obsidian Entertainment. Yeah, the same guys behind Pillars of Eternity, Fallout New Vegas, The Outer Worlds, and many others.
What are the others?
Oh, shut up! This is a narrative-driven historical game focusing on character development, with heavily stylized art and choice-driven storytelling in early 16th century Bavaria. You will play as Andreas Moller, a clever illustrator caught up in a series of murders in a secluded abbey over the course of 25 years. You will be responsible for conducting your own investigation to decide the fate of the community, but each decision will have lasting consequences and draws you closer to the center of underlying conspiracy. People on Steam are saying that the writing is top quality, art style is amazing, and animations are great. And yeah, the game has an overwhelmingly positive review score as well. Verdun. The game takes place on the Western Front in one of the bloodiest conflicts in world history, inspired by the famous Battle of Verdun in 1916. So the game is the first-person shooter multiplayer set in a realistic setting of the First World War. The vicious close-quarters nature of trench warfare means that skill with a bayonet can be as vital as good aim with a rifle, so prepare for some melee action as well. The game offers 4 modes with many historically accurate features, such as realistic First World War weaponry, authentic uniforms, horrendous gore, and maps based on the real battlefields of France and Belgium. People on Steam are saying that the game is criminally underrated. So if you are thirsty not only for beer but for blood as well, this may be your spoon of potato salad.
Wait, what?
I don't know, man, sounded cool in my head. Remnant 2. This is the sequel to Remnant from the Ashes, best known as Dark Souls with guns. The game pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses across beautiful but menacing worlds. Here you can travel alone or with friends as a team and explore strange new worlds and beyond, overrun by mythical creatures while trying to stay alive. There are multiple worlds to explore with different types of creatures, weapons and items. Game has branching quest lines, augments, crafting and loot rewards that will test the resolve involve of even the most hardened players in dynamically generated dungeons and areas. Most of the players are saying that the second part is better than the first one, meaning that developers learned from their past mistakes and made an actually awesome game. Quern, Undying Thoughts. This is a first-person puzzle-adventure game inviting you on a journey to explore the beautiful land and solve many challenges. You'll put your IQ to the test with the increasingly complex puzzles and unravel the mysteries of the island. Remember Myst? So it's quite the same. It is original and solving one or another puzzle is really rewarding, you know, for your ego. People on Steam are saying that Quern is one of the best puzzle games they ever played. It also has more than 90% of positive reviews, and the bad ones are mostly about technical issues. People don't realize that you should check your graphic card drivers all the time. For example, I couldn't even run Elden Ring without updating them. Anyway, this is a great game, really worth your money even when not on a sale. Planetary Annihilation Titans. You can play the game alone and rule your pathetic planet on a traditional real-time strategy campaign, or dive into multiplayer battles and sacrifice your dignity and self-esteem to much better players. Game was released about 8 years ago, so you can imagine how many better players Planetary Annihilation has bred, how many eggs of much better players it has laid, and how many of them had hatched. Now it's too late to burn the nest with fire, you will have to take them all one-on-one like a hero you are never meant to be. And believe me, some of those players are still in the game. As for recent months, about 300 players are in game at all times, so you will not feel alone here, and that is a good thing. Titans also has pretty good AI which can surprise you with ingenious decisions, like detonating their own homeworld in hopes to kill your commander. Go big or go home, they say, except when you blow up your homeworld you don't have home to go to, so you can go only big.
Oh, the puns.
Shut up, I'm really proud of this sentence. Anyway, reviews on Steam are very positive, so I think you can give it a try without many thoughts given. Prehistoric Hunt. I remember playing the cult classic Carnivores on my Pentium 166 and hunting impressive trophies, and since then none of the dinosaur hunting games came even close to these legendary titles, and Prehistoric Hunt is for real the closest thing I ever saw. It has way better graphics than the old school games, although not as great as the Hunters, and it is also a very janky experience, especially when dinosaurs attack you through walls and slay you like a tiny meatball you are.
Yum yum yum.
Everything else is awesome. Around 20 different species of dinosaurs, including Tyrannosaurus rex, Spinosaurus, Stegosaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, your mama is Fat Raptor, and Potatosaladosaurus. Maybe not all of them, but I forgot which ones are not included. Anyway, there are more than plenty of different animals for you to slaughter, and they are not real, so dinosaur protection activists won't stalk your family. Also here you will find full day and night cycle, more than 10 different weapons, many different locations with jungles and mountains, and also an awesome trophy room where you can display your full-size dinosaur trophies. You can play alone or in multiplayer with up to 12 players. Updates are constant, the game is evolving every day, and a very positive review score is a good sign as well. Doors Paradox. Have you ever played the game named The Room? This is basically the same. You'll try to search for clues, click on things, unlock various drawers, attach pipes, melt uranium, and do many other crazy things in order to unlock the doors to the next level, which will contain more doors. Yeah, here you'll find 58 door puzzles, set in 13 unique realms. The puzzles are not very hard. I played the demo, you can also try it on Steam for free, and I don't think I was seriously stuck in any place. But I have to warn you, the game is actually addictive. I just wanted to solve one door to make an impression about the game, but I spent an hour or so solving puzzle after a puzzle. Game is really satisfying and well made. Wytchwood. This is a crafting adventure set in an expressive land of gothic fables and fairy tales. As the mysterious old witch of the woods, you will have to explore a strange countryside, collect magical ingredients, brew sorcerous enchantments, and pass your twisted judgment upon a capricious cast of characters and creatures. You know, the forest inhabitants has to respect you, and by respect I mean fear. Nah, just kidding. Or am I? Yes I am. This is a wonderful handcrafted game, but don't let the joyful facade fool you. The game is quite complex. You will have to collect, gather, grow and craft bizarre ingredients like bottled fear. Don't mix it up with your daily morning gulp of whiskey. You will spend your day trembling under the table. Anyway, you will research and concoct devious spells and sorceries. Turn the greedy into frogs or into something way worse, like pineapples. Trick the wicked with cunning curses and explore an allegorical world of tales. Uncover colorful personas and interact interesting magic-infused narratives. People who play this game a lot are saying that it is very cozy, funny and beautiful game, although a bit too easy and dialogue sometimes feel endless. Control Ultimate Edition. A corruptive presence has invaded the Federal Bureau of Control, and only you have the power to stop it. The world around you is now your weapon in an epic fight to annihilate an ominous enemy across the deep and unpredictable environments. Containment has failed, humanity is at stake, so it's time to kick some paranormal ass. SCP vibes are really strong here. To be fair, this game feels like you are in a dream all the time. Well, nightmare to be exact, because everything is changing all the time and not for good. The game is not scary, but it's ominous, that's for sure. People on Steam are saying that the story is very good, the game itself is out of the ordinary and it has some really cool puzzles to solve. So a bit of everything for everyone. Pacific Drive. This is a very interesting title with mechanics you won't usually see in other games. In this driving survival adventure you face supernatural dangers on each expedition into the exclusion zone. Make your base of operations in an abandoned garage, where you'll research new parts, customize your station wagon and chart routes deeper into the zone. As you gather precious resources and investigate what's been left behind in the zone, you learn exactly what it takes to survive in this unpredictable hostile environment. All the vibes here lead to Strugatsky brothers and their roadside picnic story. Many games draw inspiration from it, from legendary Stalker to a recent gem Tunguska the Visitation. And if you like the theme about some stranger things happening in this specific area, I recommend you to watch the movie named Annihilation with Natalie Portman. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Mars War Logs. This is an absolute hidden gem I have stumbled on by lucky accident. The price and quality ratio of Mars War Logs is beyond fantastic. The game, as people say, is a hybrid between Fallout, Mad Max and the Technomancer. Well, the latter was made by the same company and is set in the same game universe, so no surprises here. Anyway, it takes you to Mars, nearly a century after the cataclysm that drowned the planet and its colonists into chaos. And speaking about drowning, water has become the most precious resource on the planet, with a few companies fighting a perpetual war for its control. Well, honestly, I think that water is not what made the desert planet of Mars famous in the first place. Anyway, you play as Roy, a renegade with multiple talents. You will develop your character and your combat style by choosing among many skills and perks. Melee, ranged combat, stealth, or the devastating Technomant power. You know, you're some kind of lizard Harry. I mean Roy. So if you like this game, try the Technomancer as well, and don't pay much attention to the mostly positive or even mixed score it sometimes falls to. It's Eurojang, but it's nice. Atomfall. The studio behind legendary Sniper Elite and Aliens vs Predator games decided to develop a survival action game inspired by real-life events. Atomfall is set 5 years after the Windscale nuclear disaster in northern England. Yeah, like most of us, I have never heard of it. So, long story short, in 1957 one of the nuclear reactors of Windscale site, that wasn't a power plant but a part of the British atomic bomb project and produced weapons-grade plutonium, caught fire. So in the aftermath, a huge chunk of the country was affected by radiation and around 200 unlucky people died of cancer. So that's the real story. In the game you will explore the fictional quarantine zone around the aforementioned Windscale. You will scavenge, craft, barter, fight and talk your way through a British countryside filled with bizarre characters, mysticism, cults and rogue government agencies. People are saying that this is Stalker, Fallout, Bioshock and Prey 1. Sounds good to me. Achilles, Legends Untold. EA will take control of a man with a really weak heel but with very strong everything else. The journey will take you to many different corners of mythological lands, where you will obtain powerful artifacts that will aid you in your quest. The game has a cool AI system that introduces innovative enemy behavior. Opponents have unscripted interactions with each other and are capable of coordinated attacks. Developers are also saying that sometimes your enemies are even taking advantage of their surroundings. Well, honestly, that should be mandatory in every modern game. If your adversary is ignoring surroundings, that is so old school. I think even pigs in Duke Nukem 3D could hide behind the walls, and the game was released in the past millennium. So Achilles Legends Untold is Souls-like, but not as hard as actual Souls games. Various Diablo-like action RPG lovers could play it as well. But of course, don't expect Diablo-like battles, here every battle is important. Well, at least they are made this way. If you played, for example, Sands of Ore aura, you may realize what I have in mind. It is a mix of genres, but I think it's really worth your attention. South Park: The Stick of Truth. From the perilous battlefields of the Fourth Great Playground, a young hero will rise, destined to be the South Park's savior. For 1,000 years, the battle has been waged. The sole reason humans and elves are locked in a never-ending war is the Stick of Truth. But the tides of war are soon to change as word of a new kid spreads throughout the land, his coming foretold by the stars. Anyway, he'll arm yourself with the weapons of legend to defeat underpants gnomes, hippies, vegans, and other forces of evil. If you succeed in your perilous mission, you shall become South Park's savior, and if you fail, you will forever be known, you know, whoever you are right now. No offense. Ravenswatch. The nightmares here are like your ex, spreading and corrupting everything in their path, so you must hone your skills and find the strength to defeat the creatures of the nightmare, using unique hero abilities inspired by characters from folk tales and legends. Yeah, you can choose one of the well-known heroes, such as the Red Hood, Beowulf, or even Aladdin, and hack and slash your way through hordes of monsters. If you played Curse of the Dead Gods, you will be pleased to know that these are the same developers. If you didn't know the game, check it out. It's one of the best hack and slash roguelites inspired by Hades, and Ravenswatch kinda follows a similar visual style as Curse of the Dead Gods and lets you play alone or in a team of up to 4 players co-op. Besiege. This is a physics-based building game in which you construct medieval siege engines and lay waste to immense fortresses and peaceful villages. Build a machine which can crush windmills, wipe out battalions of brave soldiers and transport valuable resources, defending your creation against cannons, archers and everything else. Game looks beautiful, the art style is 10 ColdBeers out of 10, and the same is difficulty, at least at the beginning, because my machines did more harm to themselves than to their surroundings. Anyway, I promise you that after a bit of practice you will build your incredible mechanical potato of terror and destroy some peaceful castles. Helldivers 2. After geo-blocking half of the world and getting a huge backlash by requiring a mandatory PSN account, Sony finally backed down. Their stupid plan failed completely and now most of the world can play their games anyway. So basically, if you saw a movie Starship Troopers, that is what you will get here. You will step into the boots of an awesome soldier from a military society and along with other players you will eradicate alien insects, various monsters that may look anything in between from a ladybug to a zerg, or die miserably from a friendly fire of an idiot sitting half an earth away from you. And then try again. Capturing enemy planets, defending against invasions and completing missions will contribute to our overall effort. The war will be won or lost depending on the actions of everyone involved. People on Steam are saying that Helldivers 2 is one of the most entertaining co-op shooters you can try. And the main thing driving people to this game is no doubt a camaraderie with your fellow players fighting against evil monsters who, well, honestly, who just try to live on their planets peacefully.
I know, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Also subscribe, yeah, do it now. Do it now. Now! No! Okay, bye.